What's up, everybody? Welcome to another segment of the student athlete interview. Before we get started, here's a little background on what we're doing. We're really just trying to center and highlight college athletes and really give them a space for their voices and stories to be heard. I'm C. I'm one of your many interns this summer who will be helping lead this segment throughout these next few weeks. And today we have Jay. So we will get started as soon as we get her right on this live. Hey.
Hey girl,
Hey girl, what's up? How's your day so far?
it's been pretty good, pretty productive. I finished a lot of work. What else I do? I had a workout this morning.
Gotcha. Always on your grind, of course.
I
So,
tried.
just to get started, do you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, well, my name is Jalynn Holmes. I just graduated from Norfolk State University, and I'll be attending Temple University in the fall. So I'll be a fifth year, and then I have another year after that too.
Got
So,
you.
yeah.
And just for some background information, when did you start basketball?
Well, I want to say I probably started around like 6 or 7. My dad played, so I was always around basketball. He was a coach. My brother played, so it was
Like
just,
a
yeah.
yeah, got you. And outside of your dad, who would you say inspired you the most growing up?
Um, Probably I would say Kobe Bryant, of course. It's kind of a cliche answer, but he's just so impactful in the game. So yeah, definitely Kobe. I loved Kobe growing up, and like I just wanted to work as hard as I could. Like how he has that whole mama mentality thing. I even still to this day watch a lot of YouTube videos of Kobe, like his motivational videos, stuff like that. Like before workouts, or even like when I wake up in the morning or something. You know.
And how do you try to like implement that mentality into your play?
Well, I mean, Kobe was relentless, like we all know. And he was confident. It took me a little bit to like, gain that confidence on the court. But I would say like that was the most important thing, the confidence aspect. And then everything you worked on would just come naturally.
Got you. And growing up, did you only play basketball or were there other sports that you messed around with too?
I actually played soccer first.
Got
I played soccer for a while too.
you.
The comment, but now I played soccer for a while. I was actually a cheerleader too. I was the captain on
Gotcha.
my cheerleading team. And what else? I played football. I played flag football. Uh, they wanted me to play tackle, but my dad was like, no, like my little girl not playing no tackle football. But it was fun while it lasted. That's it. That's all I played though.
How do you think like doing things like cheerleading and soccer helped you in basketball? Like, do you think those type of skills aided you?
Yeah, I do actually. I just think being on a team, you learn how to work together with other people, and that mindset, just working as hard as you can. Even with cheers, like I would go home and work on my cheers. That's why I was captain, because I was so eager and just so pressed to be out there yelling. So I mean,
It's about the mentality. It's all in it.
yeah, right.
All right. And just because somebody commented this, what's your highest points in a game?
um, it was definitely in high school. I think it was like 33.
33.
Not that, some people be scoring all the points or whatever, but I went to Riverdale, so it wasn't like no easy walk in the park. My whole high school career was like, low competition. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah.
And like speaking of high school, what made you decide that you wanted to take it further and play in college?
Oh, that was always the plan, honestly, because I went to a private school. So I was technically paying for school. Well, I was on scholarship, but I was paying for school. So that was, my parents not about to pay for no college. You know what I'm saying? Like, they already paid for high school. So it just was like already noted in my head that I was going to have a scholarship for college. That's that manifestation aspect. I always like to manifest things. So.
What are you manifesting for next year going into that season?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Honestly, I know a couple of my teammates. I know Mia, she's like really like one of their star players. Jaysha, I don't really know her, but she is like another one of their star players. I'm excited to play with them, honestly. I really hope that we are gonna win the AAC championship. That's just what I want to do. And I want to go to March Madness, so plan on the big screen in March. That's really my goals. I won a conference championship at Towson. I was at Towson my freshman and sophomore year. So my sophomore year, we won a championship. I thought we was going to win the MEAC championship last year, but, under certain circumstances, we didn't. But this is the year, honestly.
Got you. And just because somebody asked this in the comments, and I always love asking people this question, who is your favorite WNBA player?
Probably Diana Taurasi has always been my favorite. But yeah, we could stay with Diana Taurasi. I gotta see a little bit more. This. You said what?
You can't go wrong with Taurasi.
You can't go wrong with Taurasi. She's the GOAT for real.
Got you. And you mentioned that you started out at Towson and then you transferred over to Norfolk. So what was that transfer process like for you?
Oh, it was horrible. It was so bad. Mainly because of how things ended at Towson. It kind of set me back a little bit in my recruiting process. So it was very stressful. I just honestly was just like, you know what, I'm going to just trust you, God. Like, I don't know what's about to happen, but I'm going to just go ahead and enter my name in the transfer portal and just trust God, work as hard as I can in the summer. And, I picked up a school, Norfolk. So, and honestly, Norfolk was my only offer coming from Towson, like, for transferring. So, not the Jaguars, but I am trying to lay my edges down. They trying to play. But anyways, yeah, it was really rough for me, under some circumstances or whatever. But yeah, God made a way like he always does. And now he made another way. Now I'm going to Temple, so I'm thankful for that.
And if you could go back to that time, would you do anything differently or would you give your younger self any advice?
Oh, like I said, confidence piece. I just feel like confidence is probably the biggest thing athletes should have. Like, I don't care if people call you cocky, arrogant, whatever. Like, be as confident as possible, even if you're trying to fake it. You know what I'm saying? Have your court swag, have whatever that gets you confident when you're in there. So I wish I was a little more confident at a younger age. I wish I was a little more, I would say, resilient. I kind of let people and things like take me off course mentally, and I just felt like if I would have stayed like level-headed, that things would have been a little different. My story would have went a little smoother, but at the end of the day, everything happened, so I'm happy where I am today.
Exactly. And in that transfer, it's not just moving from one team to another, it's a completely different university. So like academics wise, there's a lot of adapting to do, like environment wise, it's a lot of adapting to do. So how did you adapt to all those different changes happening around you?
Well, I would say it was a smooth process because Towson was a very high academic university. Norfolk is like kind of on the average end. So it was an easy process, the academic piece. Well, at least for my first year, but then once I got so acclimated in basketball and it was an HBCU, so, it was a little more active, all that stuff that I had to, really lock in on my schoolwork. But like I said, I'm graduating, so did that. But anyways, but I think it'll be a little more difficult going from book to Temple academically because, especially because I'm going to be in a master's program. So, you know, it's nothing that I can't do, you know, I just lock in.
Got you. And what led you to Temple?
Oh, actually, I entered my name in the portal not too long after the Norfolk, my season ended at Norfolk. And Coach Wade, I just was looking through my requests, my DMs, and Coach Wade had DM'd me, and I was, when I tell you I almost cried, like I was so pressed, like, because Temple was actually one of my like dream schools, but I never thought that they would reach out to me. I don't know why, that I just never thought that they would, you know, try to contact me, but I was just so pressed when she contacted me, and I love the coaching staff so far. Like, it's all women, so I love that. They just seem like a very like family oriented like coaching staff. I love it, you know.
Got you. And like moving into that, especially, we're still in this pandemic. Like, what was that like for you playing through a pandemic and this idea of like readapting constantly while still going through?
It was a mess. I'm just gonna be honest. It was a mess, literally. That's the two words for it. Like, we had like endless cancellations. We only played 12 games. Like, I actually caught COVID. I went home for Christmas break, and I had a lot of family come over and stuff. You know, I can't control that, you know. And it was just me and my cousin's fiance that ended up catching it. Just two people out of like 30. And I'm like, okay, well, I had to get one. But I ended up catching it, and I was okay though for the most part. I was taking care of myself, but you know, that was in the middle of the season. So right after I got out of quarantine, my 14 days, I was back playing at A&T. We played against A&T, so I got right on the bus and, you know, went and played. I did pretty well for someone that's been cooped up in their room for 14 days, you know, but it was pretty difficult.
Well, one, I'm happy you're okay. I'm happy you got through that. And when it comes to like, what would you say is the most difficult part about being a student athlete overall?
There's so many things, but I would say probably the most difficult is the mental aspect of everything. It can get very hectic, well, at least for me, because there's so much going on. You know, you got to be this A+ student, you know, you got to work like 120% each practice, each game. You know, that's every day. You know, they say student athlete, but the way stuff been going for me, it's been athlete student. So just being honest, but yeah, I would say the mental part of it. You know, there's certain ways that things that I do now, you know, going into my 5th year, certain things that I do now that, you know, calm my mind a little bit before games or before practice or even when I wake up in the morning. So, you know, I'm kind of getting used to like a routine with it, but yeah.
And what was it like for you almost 5 years ago now, going into that recruiting process, that original time, like going out of high school and like trying to find your space?
Yeah, it was a lot of emotions. I feel like I was really excited, really anxious. Um, I committed early, kind of, not really early, but I committed before my senior year. So, yeah, it was just a lot of nerves. I'm trying to remember, but I wish I knew more about like the conferences and like the whole college atmosphere. I wish I like knew more about it, but you know, I'm learning.
Got you. And if you could give any advice to anybody going into that process, not just recruiting, but also the transfer process, since you have experience with that, what would you say?
Well, number one, first things first, I would say be, you know, more on the professional end when speaking with coaches and speaking to people, because you don't want people to take you for granted and, you know, to, you know, approach it like it's an interview, a job interview, you know, because at the end of the day, this is basically our job. I would say, you know, stay positive, always have good energy, effort, good attitude all the time. Um, and keep your head up, you know, if things not looking too good, you know, just trust God. I don't know if you believe in God or whatever, but I do, but trust whatever you believe in and trust the process. How about that? Like, you know, stay locked in.
Got you. And I don't have any more questions, but if anybody else watching has any questions, they can drop them in the chat. But actually, I do have a question. You mentioned to me when we were talking that one of your favorite moments from your playing career was playing at Madison Square Garden in the high school tournament. So what was that like for you, if you can remember that? I know that was a while ago.
No, I remember it very good. I twice, my freshman year and my junior year. So my freshman year, I played with, I don't know if you are familiar with Chloe Jackson and Shania Ray. You know, they're very popular now. They've always been, you know, top notch and stuff. But they were Kayla Prather, she played with my Chloe played with, I think she went to LSU, then Baylor. Shania played with West Virginia. So, you know, they were all like high level players. I didn't really play at all. I just stepped in like the last 30 seconds of the game or something. But I was just so excited. We still got pictures of me like like sitting on the bench and stuff. Like it was the lights were so bright on the floor and like it just was like a different atmosphere. It was very intimidating, but it was like but then my junior year I was actually playing, so I felt like I was, you know, a little used to it, used to that. A lot of cameras, a lot of media. But no, it was cool. I really
Got you. And of course, you mentioned winning the conference in 2019, so we have to talk about that too.
Yeah. That was at the okay. Well, I was very overwhelming with emotions. You know, wanting, you know, the confetti falling down, and you know, everybody like storming the floor, and like it was. I did enjoy that aspect of it, but you know, I left Towson right after that. I'm not gonna talk too much about, you know, the situation or whatever. You know, it was a good experience, but I definitely want to go again and contribute more, you know? Yeah.
And of course, one final question, because I've seen it in the chat a few times, but what are your plans after college?
So by the time I graduate, I should have, well, I would have my 2 master's degrees, but I do want to, you know, continue playing basketball for how long I physically can. You know, I saw, you know, the WNBA stuff. That definitely is in consideration. I would love to enter the draft, you know, but you know, there's only 12 teams, 12 picks, all that stuff. So, like, kind of odds are slim to none, which are cool. Definitely play overseas and work my way up. Cool.
Got you. Well, I will definitely be following you wherever you end up going. You are absolutely amazing energy, play, all of that. So I'm so thankful for you for joining us tonight. And I hope you have a great day and a great season coming up next year at Temple. And I'm sure I'll be at some of the games because I'm here in Philly too. So,
Yay! Yay, okay. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this. This was nice.
No problem. Peace.
Bye. Have a good day.